Hey guys, James, AAA Farms. Welcome back. Today's going to be a little bit different. I got my 1996 F350 with a 7.3 liter Powerstroke. It is currently broke down. I stopped at Tractor Supply yesterday to get some of the nesting material for the nesting boxes so we can finish that up. When I walked back out, all my coolant was underneath my truck. Luckily I had enough to make it home, and I did some inspecting once I got home and found there's a leak in my lower radiator hose. Basically there's a little plastic bracket that holds it away from everything else that had failed, and so the hose was rubbing against some of the steering components. So come along today as we change this lower radiator hose on this 1 ton. So here we are in the truck. It's this plastic bracket here that failed. This is supposed to clamp up here, that little black piece you can see right there. It had failed, so just let it come back, and now, as you can tell, it's rubbing against the steering right here, and basically that has ate a small little hole right here. It's hard to get a good angle. The leak's not a bad leak. I just checked my coolant reservoir is low. It's not empty, but it's bad. It's a very soft spot, and it ain't too much longer before that gives. It is leaking if you apply pressure to it. It just it's not a major leak as of right now. Either that or my reservoir is plugged, and that's another big concern. But we'll find out later. So first thing we got to do is change this hose. If you look right there, there's just a little hose clamp there. There's a hose clamp here that we'll have to remove too. This hose right here goes up to your reservoir, and then in that hole right there, there's another little access to like a regular style hose clamp with the little bolt that you tighten, you know. So let's take a look at what tools we're going to need. Right, so what we need for this job is obviously our replacement hose. This is part number 22216. Got it from O'Reilly's because when I got home last night, I was able to get on their website, order it, and they had it at the store for me at 9:45 a.m., which is pretty awesome. There is a cheaper option. This is about $50. There's a cheaper option where the hose that connects here that goes to the reservoir is permanently attached. I think at AutoZone for like $25, but I didn't really like that idea of that hose being permanent because this is the lowest point. So if you ever have to do a flush or have this issue again, you kind of want that to control. You need this 8mm socket set here. Has to get to that one clamp that has the bolt. And then you need some form of pliers, whether that's pliers, channel locks, or whatever vice grip floats your boat. Has to get the other clamps. Obviously replacement coolant for when we have everything put back together. I'm hoping that's enough. If not, I can stop by AutoZone on the way to work tomorrow, or O'Reilly's at my local store, get it and fill it back up. An oil catch pan that you can fit under your truck, and if your truck's taller, 5-gallon bucket works great. This is a 1-ton dually, so it doesn't really sit that high enough to put this 5-gallon bucket under it, but that pan will fit just fine. And we have the 5-gallon bucket as a backup. If that pan starts to get filled up, we'll pour it in there and put it back under there to catch it. So that's all the tools you'll need. Shouldn't be a big deal. Let's get under the truck and get this done. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my oil pan lined up to my best ability to try to catch all this. And then I'm going to take my pliers, come up here, grab a hold of this clamp here, open it, pull it on down. The hose is coming with it, no big deal. Get it about right there, and let it go like that. You can tell we definitely still had plenty of fluid in there. Kind of running out of pan space, but I think we're going to be just fine, hopefully. Not, I'll just reconnect that hose and we'll dump it. Yeah, we'll reconnect this hose. Gotta use the pliers to get a hold of that and fill that up. As you can tell, we got a little bit of spillage, but should be fine. Let me dump this and we'll get back to you. So we got all that drained out. Come back up here and we'll take this off again and let the rest of it drain out. Hopefully we don't have to dump that pan again. Okay, looks like we're gonna fill the pan up again, so let's slap this hose back on real quick, and then we'll dump this again. Take this off one more time, hopefully this is it. You know, looks like we might be getting to the end. So I think we're safe to a point we can go ahead and pull that clamp up top off, because it seems like it's all pretty much drained. This is the bottom of the radiator down here where this connects, and it's probably what we're seeing coming out now. That's what's left in there. So let's see if we can get in here, and we'll take this clamp off up here. If I can get y'all a good angle here. Squeeze that, work that clamp on down. Okay, whole hose came with it. See if I can get in there so y'all can see. There's that hose there coming off, And there's where it goes on right there. So we'll have to get situated on this other side real quick and get that hose clamp off over there. So now on the other side, if you look in here, you should see a little hose clamp. Yeah, there it is. Let's take your 8mm socket, get on that and loosen it up. And we got that loosened up. We'll try to free this clamp up a little bit and see if we can't pull this hose off. Yep, it's gonna come. Let's move to the side just in case there's any more fluid left in there. We're gonna reach over here and pop this side off. Okay. I'll pull the old hose out, guys, and now we'll go up top. So now I can see it a little bit clearer. That's that hole I was talking about. See how soft that is? And if you put enough pressure in it, it starts to leak. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our clamps off of each end, put them on the corresponding end on this hose, and then we'll go in and slip it on. Be right back. Let me get that done. Alright guys, so we got the clamps transferred over. Make sure this bolt hose clamp goes on the shorter side. You want it to be facing down with this, and you want it to be on the outside. This hose clamp doesn't matter as much. You can kind of twist it in place as you get down there, but get it kind of roughly where you think it needs to go so it's easier to get to. Let's get under the truck and get this put back on. So the first thing I'm going to do is snake this back up here and try to get it roughly where it needs to go. That looks pretty good on that clamp up there. I might twist it a little bit. And then this clamp down here. Next thing to do is slip this lower side on. And make sure it goes all the way on. And then on this upper side, try to twist this around a little bit. And then try to get this started here. Alright guys, I slid my hose clamp further back on this. So let's push it up into place. Get it slid on. Okay, now I got that set on. I'll grab my pliers and work that up there. I want to make sure this end's all the way on as well. And then we'll connect this little hose last. I'm going to see if I can't hold y'all and move that clamp up. I don't know if I'll be able to though. No. Okay, let me get back to you when I get that clamp on. Guys, I want to show y'all what worked best for me here. I just took these vice grips to get it on. In that case, it just slides right up into place, no problem. And then you just release your vice grips. And you're in position up there. Far better than trying to do that by using pliers. Makes life a lot easier. And then now we're gonna tighten that down, and then we'll put this hose back on, which we'll go ahead and put this hose back on now. And then we'll go put the bolt back in. Alright guys, I got that bolt put back on, everything tightened. Main thing with that bolt down there, make sure you don't over tighten it because you can crush that little pipe fitting down there off the radiator. Next thing we're going to want to do is remove this cap. And then just fill that with fluid, turn the truck on, let it suck it down, put more in it, and repeat. Alright guys, I got about 3 gallons of antifreeze put in here. Looks like I'm probably going to need about four and a half total, but this 3 gallons should get me to town tomorrow. So it already gravity fed down to the bottom. What you want to do is leave that top off and then crank your truck, let it run for a little bit. If you had more coolant, you would fill it to the recommended line there, let that drain down, put more coolant, and so on and so forth. That's to work all the air out of your system. I got enough in there to do it. I just won't have any left in the reservoir, so I'm going to do that now. Crank it up and let it run for a bit. With the truck running, you basically monitor your line, and as it sucks down, go ahead and fill it up. It's hard to see down in there. I got a little bit left. Like I said, I ain't got quite enough to completely fill it up, but I should be able to make it to town. It's about 10 minutes away. It's going to be in the morning. It's going to be cool. It shouldn't be no big deal. I'll top it off there and we'll be good to go. Alright guys, it's the next morning. I made it to my local Rallies. As you can see, it never really got too warm. I figure I'm about 1 gallon to 2 gallons short on coolant. Highly recommend don't doing this in a gasser, because I think gassers are a little hotter than diesel. Diesel's a little bit more efficient. But it got up to between the R and the M on normal, which is warmer than this truck normally gets. And even right now, it's a little bit warmer than what the truck normally gets. What I did to try to minimize all this heat is I did run my AC on normal at full blast on cold. Basically, the difference between this truck, or difference between normal AC and max AC on this truck, max AC actuates a valve under the hood that shuts off coolant going to the heater coil. But normal AC, you still have that coolant going to the heater coil, so you're blowing that air conditioner air across that heater coil. That kind of helps cool it off as well. So I'm going to go into O'Reilly's now and probably buy 2 more gallons of coolant to put in the truck. See y'all soon. Alright guys, just got done in the store. I went ahead and got 2 more gallons of coolant. I got some 14-inch zip ties and I got some fuel line. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that fuel line in a bit. Let's get the hood pop and get back under the truck. So what I'm doing is feeding my zip tie to that hole there. It's going to come over the hose right around there. What I'm going to do is take this fuel line, feed it over that zip tie, so where it's making contact with these hoses, it'll actually be protecting the hoses from the zip tie itself. And that should keep any wears from occurring. So let me get this done and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, got roughly a 2-inch piece of fuel line here on the zip tie. The zip tie goes in that hole there, it comes up top. There's about a 4-inch fuel line here that the zip tie comes back through. I got it zip tied together. So this fuel line will protect these hoses from the zip tie, because the zip tie is a smaller surface space than this old strap is. So that should protect the hoses pretty good. Everything looks good down here. Let's go finish filling it up with coolant. So we got it filled up to that line. It's already came down a little bit. We'll let it sit for a minute and then we'll crank it, get it up to operation temperature, turn the heater on, and let it refill the system, and then we'll add as we need. Alright guys, we got her topped off. It sucked it down and then it came back up. I'm gonna finish driving to work and then I'll get back to y'all this evening. Next step is to let it run for a little while and then cool off, and then come back and check your cold field level. What that field level is the cold field level. I'll get back to y'all this evening. Alright guys, just made it to work. It's about a 40-minute drive and it never got above that end on normal, which is normal for this truck. So I'm gonna go to work now and I'll before I leave work I'll check the level, let it cool off, check the level, and add as needed. Alright guys, leaving work now. It's been about 9 hours since I shut the truck off. So it's cooled off and you can see it's about halfway between that min-max level. So we're good to go. Alright guys, made it home in the 96 1-ton. No issues, no leaks, running cool. Everything went great. Next work on the 1-ton, we do have a fuel leak in the valley. Need to troubleshoot that. I do also have a weird vacuum issue where in the morning my brake assist and vacuum doesn't seem to really work too well, but in the evenings it runs fine. which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm going to be troubleshooting that as well. So if you want to see more updates on the 1 ton, please subscribe and stay tuned. Y'all have a good day.